Okay, we are live. And okay. We're live with a Pilates routine today. You will need for this one, this is all legs and glutes, and we'll be using a Pilates ring, but you definitely don't need that. We're gonna need a chair for some of the stretches, and then a towel if you're on hard floor to use as a glider, or you can use a plate or a furniture glider if you are on carpet. So we're going to get started. Oh, and a step. Okay, we're gonna get started here with the, this is like called footwork that we do on the reformer. So he's gonna start with his feet together. Yep. And he's gonna drop his heels down below. He was gonna go up first. And he's gonna drop his heels down below the step and then rise up. We're gonna do, for the sake of time, we're just gonna do 4 here in each position. So we're gonna start with these 4. And after you've got 4, I have no idea how many you've done.
I think that was 4.
Okay. Then we're gonna go toes apart and heels together. So I know you can't see the front of him. So toes apart, heel together. He's rising up. Try to keep your heels together as you rise up, bringing you a big inner thigh connection there. And then after we've done 4 of those, we're gonna turn the toes in so that you're actually like pigeon-toed, and you're gonna be rising up. And I just rose up on my broken toe. Rising up, and no, it wasn't a good thing.
Oh.
Good, we're gonna do 4 of those. Yes, and your calves will burn a little bit from these. And then after you've done 4, you're gonna go back into your parallel position, hip width apart, and we're gonna just kind of pedal the feet, alternating, dropping one heel and then the other. If you don't have a step to do this on, you could do this with balance, just rising up and doing the footwork without a step, but you're definitely gonna get the stretch benefit of the step the same way we do on the reformer. But I do it all the time for mat work without a step. Good. All right. Next, we're going to use, no, we're not. We're going to go into some hip hinges. Again, you do not need the circle for this. You could use a circle, you could use a yoga block. We're gonna place it in between your ankles.
You're going to be facing front or
Side. And from here, hands on the hips if you want. Little bend in the knee, and the hips go back. Knees stay right over the ankles, good, and then up. Good, let's do 4 like this. So we're just starting to move into the hip hinge action. These exercises are part of Matt's warm-up before a game, which hopefully he'll experience again soon. Go ahead and put the circle on the outside of your legs, and again, you can use a mini band if you have one, or you do not need to use anything here. What we're doing is we're just looking for that feeling of balance on the feet.
The engagement.
The engagement, right? All right, so go down. So when the circular block is between your ankles, you've got your adductors engaging, and when it's on the outside, you have your abductors, abductors engaging there. This keeps your foot, you recognize the feeling of rolling out or rolling in here. Perfect. All right, I'll take that. But you definitely can do these without, which is probably how you usually do them, unless we're in like a specific.
On the field I do, but
On the
like
field
in the
without.
weight room before I lift, I have a circle that I travel.
Travels with the circle, always. All right, so fold it up one more time. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna start with
Left or right?
left leg, and he's gonna go down into a reverse glider lunge. So he's gonna take it back, that right knee bends, and then all the way up tall. So make sure that you're driving the energy down through that right foot, through your standing foot. Good. Is this 4 right here?
This is 4.
Okay, this is 4, and then we're gonna add a little rotation to it. So you're gonna take that right arm, no, you're gonna take that left arm, and you're gonna reach over, forgot what leg we were doing. Reach over the bent knee, the front knee. Good. And we'll do 3 more of those. Good. Let your whole body rotate. Feel that stability in that standing leg. This is all about that standing leg. Perfect. And then we'll switch sides.
Go again.
No, stay this way so I can see it the other side. Okay. From here, same thing, 4 without any rotation, just our regular gliders. We love gliders because they really mimic the feeling of being on a Pilates reformer. It's actually a little bit harder sometimes because you don't have this spring resistance. Now we switch to the rotation, so you can see I'm coming across that bent knee, reaching to the outside of that ankle. 2 more.
This is 4.
This is 4. I can't count either. Right, left, can't count. Okay, we gotta move this in. Back up. Yeah.
I'll let you do it.
Okay, so we are bringing the chair in, and so I have to tell you, if you're my height, this is too high. So a shorter bench or whatever you can find, a step to do this on is much better. If you're tall, this is good. So bring your left foot up first. Okay, so these are hip drivers, which means that we're driving the motion with the hips. So he's gonna go forward up onto his toe and back. Remember the back part? Yeah. You might have to back up a little bit. Yeah. So he's coming forward, giving himself a hip flexor stretch on the right side, and as he goes back, he's going into a hamstring stretch on the left.
How many?
Last one here. What is that, 4? Yeah. Good. And then we'll do 4 on the other side. Same thing here. But notice this chair brings his knee in line with his hip, which is appropriate for him. For me, it would bring my knee way higher than the hip, which would be uncomfortable, wouldn't allow me to get the full range of motion because I would be jammed. Whoa. How many is this?
This is 4.
4. Good. All right, I'm gonna take the chair away. We're gonna grab our glider again, and we're gonna do a side glider.
4.
I'm stupid. Trying to get out of the way. 4. Yeah. So hips go back, chest stays lifted. You don't want a whole lot of weight on this towel or glider or whatever you're using, because if you do, you will not be able to get back in. Do actually 6, because we're only, do 6. Yeah, do 6.
You just keep standing on that
Yeah.
stair.
I love these. I'll do these. I'll do the other leg if you want.
No.
All right, from here, go out to, but move over so that you stay in the frame. Yeah. We'll go 6 times here. And focus again on that standing leg coming all the way up. So we started with the hip hinge, and we're using the hip hinge through all of these glider exercises. Good. All right, bringing the chair back.
Be back.
Back. We're gonna take let's take the right leg up first, since you can face the camera that way. His toe is pointed out, and left toe is in, and you don't want to you're actually going to come a little bit closer, because you want that foot right underneath your hip, you want the knee right over your ankle, and he's going to do the hip drivers to the side and back. Good. We did these, I don't know if we did these on a live, we did these in another video, kneeling, so there's different ways to do it. This really affects, 4 is good. This really affects the groin muscles, and this is, I like that, so you don't have to be
Most of
facing
them looking at the butt.
Yeah. So again, leading with the hips, and the reason we call these hip drivers is there is actually, you can drive any part of your body forward. We could be doing knee drivers, we could be doing shoulder drivers. We are initiating the movement from the hip, which is why they're called hip drivers. All right, we move the chair, and we're going into our second to last glider exercise, which is good, because I think we're doing a pretty good job of keeping these about 15 minutes. All right, so you're gonna take that, actually you can face front for this one. We're gonna do the crossover lunge. So for this, foot is on the glider. Standing foot, again, is doing all the work. You're gonna go behind you and back, and then up. Good. And up. So this is obviously good for anyone to build stability and strength in their legs. Do 6 here, and then we'll switch sides. But it's really good for baseball players because it creates stability on each leg individually with movement. So you're stabilizing against the movement of the rest of your body, which is what you have to do when you're swinging, throwing, whatever. Good. What do we got?
This is the last one.
All right, perfect. Then, I don't think I have a list. Oh, I do. We don't have a, we'll have to use the towel. Do you want to run and go get a mat? No,
I'm good with this.
under your knees, your big knees.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna come down onto your knees here. And we're just gonna do a couple of hip sways. So that is bringing the hips over to the side. So when you do it, you're swing those hips over to the side, feeling a stretch in that outer hip. You're like sweating already. And over to the other side. Good. Do 2 or 3 each side here, and then we'll show them your favorite glute stretch really quickly though. So favorite glute stretch here, bring the leg out, and then cross it over. You're gonna take your head low, so you're making this kind of semicircle with the one side, getting a stretch from your armpit to your hip. Good, to the other side. And then we're gonna go into our last exercise that we have for you, which is our glider pike lunge. I don't even know why we call it that. It's not, I guess because your hips are piking up. So for this one, if you're not super flexible, this is something you might want to have a yoga block or something in front of you because your tips of your fingers are going to be on the floor. So stay here. You go back, knee, back it up so that your knee is, yes, so that you get that stretch in the hamstring. So fingertips on the ground, knee over the ankle, and as he comes up, he pulls up through his core. Go a little straighter on the leg as you go back. What was that noise? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
A little straighter on the leg, on the back leg. Yeah. Up, and then back out. So it's more similar to like the reformer that we do. We'll do 6 here. You're really gonna feel this in, again, the standing leg on that hamstring. And this stretch has been known to make a few people sore, actually. Do you hear that noise?
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know.
All right, so it's like something is honking in our yard, in our driveway. I don't know. We've got 6 on each side here, and you should feel a really good stretch in your hamstring, but also really good activation. So that is the little glider, glute leg glider workout that we had for you today. If you have any questions about it, you can post them, you can send them to me, or you can post them when this is up on IGTV, and we will see you Wednesday. Right?
Yep.
Okay.